Hello and welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here and we are live. Little Overwatch action coming hot at you here from the WSSEA in Week 5. Hot Sauce, FBI Tugboat, bringing the action here on the day. I'm FBI Tugboat. Hot Sauce, how the heck are you?
Oh, doing great. Always a pleasure to be back in the booth with you. And honestly, we've got two undefeated teams here today. So I think we're in for another exciting best of three. I know we get to start out on push. Hybrid, which is more up my alley, would be that second map pool that we'll be looking at. And then escort, that third one, if we happen to make it there. It's been kind of elusive in a lot of these seasons. So fingers crossed. But starting out on Colosseo here for Pushbot.
Yes, we will. The fourth map will be Clash if we get there, because it is, of course, possible to tie on these maps. I do want to start this one off by giving a shout-out here to Zotac Gaming for powering today's stream. Thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast to all of you, which, of course, helps to showcase some of the amazing talent that exists today within Scholastic Esports. Now, you can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout-out on your various social medias if you so choose. Make sure to join the community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag #PoweredByZotac or ZoTacUSA when you post, if you do. Zotac spelled Z-O-T-A-C, right down there below Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce, you previewed it perfectly. Ephrata 4-0, East Valley 3-0. One of these teams is walking away, remaining undefeated here within the WSSEA season. One of these teams taking down their first loss of the season.
Yeah, and I think we saw that East Valley had a reschedule, so that's the only reason they don't have quite as many games played. But we got a little bit of information from Ephrata as well. It's their second year in Overwatch, and the majority of the players are actually from the Valorant team. So if you can shoot in Valorant, I'm sure it correlates well. Just a little bit more about that. Who's got a role to fill in that team cohesion here. So they got a lot of juniors and sophomores with a senior in there ready to lead the charge. Again, both teams undefeated. I think we're in for an exciting one.
Well, I think so as well. Senior just having recently started playing a little bit of Overwatch, performing well, and obviously that's a little bit easier when you have the support, amazing teachers, coaches, staff, from these two individual high schools. Taking a look at these two teams, we got Monkey Dude, Kelto, Slinky Swing, Nullfall, and I Am Cheese representing Ephrata. Hot Sauce.
I love the names. They're always great. We got Just Maven, Swag Panda, looks like MJ Sev, Dorito Zoo, and Noxums over here on the other side for East Valley High School. And well, just a little bit more time here to get locked and loaded because this action is about to unfold. You race toward that center where there will be a little time before that push bot unloads. And then after that, it's just all about pressing toward that end zone there. So, again, excited for this one. I like the team comps that we see. A little bit of a mix-up here. Bastion, I'm a little bit biased towards, as I used to main Bastion, so keep an eye out. But we got Jetpack Cat out in the field as well.
Love that, love that. Also seeing a Domina here, not against that whatsoever. The new tank has obviously come forth and really made a splash within an Overwatch. Not Overwatch 2, that's never existed. What are you talking about? Taking a look at a little tank v tank action as of right now as the brawl starts for the initial push here. Nobody really finding value there until Dorito falls. Always annoying Sombra in the backfield, and Kelto finds a second. Well done.
Go back and forth here as we see 2-for-1 trades coming out, and now Just Maven able to find Kelto. So a little bit of success for both teams here, but it is Ephrata that has a little bit more success on this push. We see him beginning to stack some meterage here, and Just Maven on this Lucio looking to keep the team healed, but kind of supplementing in some of that damage as well. You have those boops and bops to help be annoying, maybe disrupt that backline as we see Winston looking to go toe-to-toe here.
It can be difficult, and Winston switches targets quickly. That's a Domino low. That's a Brig low. Brig takes another nasty jump. I want to get this healing pad down if you're a Soldier 76 looking to help out your teammates. Slinky Swing going to fall in the thick of things. That Brig will be done for right now. It'll just be the Jetpack Cat looking to keep the teammates alive. Little dive in right here, and I got to say, I'm never, ever going to be a critic of the dive. Just Maven. The Lucio here with the Winston, I almost forgot his name for a second. With the Winston as well supported. Juno, yeah, honestly, this is a great team fight, team composition.
Yeah, I mean, we see a little bit of a swap coming out from Cheese now over toward that Orisa. Maybe something to try and deal with this Winston that keeps kind of diving in toward that back line. But Swag Panda right now doing a great job of getting in and getting out, finding his way back toward the support so they don't have to search for him down, making their jobs a little bit easier. And now you're starting to see these ultimates come online as well. 3 here for East Valley, and we might just see some of them ripped down. You got the tactical visor for Nalfail here as well, but we hear the high noon and the dead eye. Will it have success? It doesn't really like anything came from it, but Jetpack and Cheese both fall, and they end up finding 2 picks. There's one in the other direction, but you look in that kill feed, and the majority of it screams East Valley High School.
Yeah, but between, man, like this Winston-Lucio combination has been all over them, and we did see some googly eyes there. I think we were kind of wondering about that. You can take a look at this. Given that it is April Fool's Day, anybody who's unfamiliar, all these characters look appropriately silly.
Hey, love having fun, right? We always say that's the bare minimum requirement out here for any of these players. It's just about going out there and having a good time. We get to see that with this April Fool's mode as well. But and talking about a good time, Swag Panda, despite East Valley High School having a little trouble early on, they've found their stride, and they haven't looked back yet. He's doing a great job of working around the materials in front of him, using this payload for cover when necessary, and they continue to steamroll forward, but now maybe a wrench in the mix, or a spear rather, that comes in from Cheese. MJ will fall early. Noxum does bounce back.
Yeah, fantastic Bastion ultimate, well placed as well. That Brig could not get out of the source of danger, quickly paying for it with their lives, though, as a couple picks go Ephrata's way. That is a Winston on the move, as we say. Now a sprinting Soldier 76 after it is going to be able to get out of the initial. If they can get to the corner, they do. That'll be no stagger here for East Valley. They'll be back to this one, trying to fight this a little bit past the center point here, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, we see them beginning to battle back a bit here, just looking for a little bit of leeway of their own. I mean, they had that first initial start that was beautiful. We've seen the swap from Cheese. They're trying to find things that work, and now that spear almost finds one. Maven will fall. Noxum answers back. It's 2 supports down, 1 on each side, and a chance now as MJ has found another pick, this time onto the DPS, and this might be the opening that Ephrata needs.
Oh, man. A fantastic hold. And coming back from it, East Valley, Swag, Panda getting it done is just simply not letting this Brig out of their sights. The fact that they can come forth here, get this hit, it doesn't really matter because obviously you can still damage through the healing that comes from Brig when she does land a hit, either with her Mace Flail. They're just going to give up this space. Okay, now getting a little bit more involved, but the tank and the rest of Ephrata really needs to hold on to the other side of this corner. No, they just leave Kelto by their lonesome. Not ideal plays, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, sometimes when the action's unfolding, you get a little sporadic, and that's where the break apart can happen. And we see Noxum's MJ kind of taking advantage of that. The swap toward Maga, I think, is great, but unfortunately, they still need to play around each other. Some of these supports are getting picked off early, and right now, I think it just boils down to this target acquisition of East Valley, and it is kind of based around Swag Panda and his ability to be such a disruption in that backline. You combine that with Lucio, and while we get to see this cinema unfolding on our screen, Kelto trying to make a last stand, though, and Slinky says, not without me or not. They find the 2K and a bit of footing here as well.
Nicely done. All of this comes off the back. Now, not saying in a negative way, but Slinky's swing was holding on to that ultimate for quite a while. They pull it at the perfect, and I mean perfect time, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, it gets right to the wire there, and for, East Valley, they've got probably a little less than 8 meters or so to go, and a lot of work here on the Ephrata side, but they give themselves 4 minutes to work with, so plenty of time to rebuild some of these alts. They're gonna have to win a couple fights in a row, though. They can't be one and done, and well, MJ finding this first one here on Reaper could spell trouble.
Yeah, the Inran falling here. Now the counter, nicely done. Huge pick onto the Lucio. They will only have a Juno left. Dorito going to have their work cut out for them. A diving Lucio's never a good taste, and the Monkey Dude's going to find that one out from the Winston. Going to pay for it with their lives, but they do find a second pick on the way, and now this should be this Ephrata squad rolling forward.
Maybe a
Wow.
monkey dude, but I don't know if he's a fan of Winston in this one. He's been having to deal with him all game. We see some big plays, though, and now Maga, Cheese finding the Cheese back and forth. He's got at least two.
Wow.
MJ will find two of their own, and every time it looks like Ephrata about to gather some confidence and momentum in their corner. East Valley right there to steal it away.
Yeah, and just the sustain that MJ is playing onto this Reaper. That's the reason why they're able to stay into the end of this team fight and just simply be that last man standing, which is what a lot of team fights end in when you have two relatively evenly matched squads like we have as of right now. Monkey Dude just trying to get out and fails to do so yet again. We got 3 different ultimates online here for East Valley as well, and with sub 3 minutes, I mean, there's plenty of time to come back here, but gotta coordinate some ultimates here for Ephrata.
Yeah, you got to find a way to pair something together. I mean, we see Null switching to that Bastion off Soldier, which they started to have some success. But the scary thing is, you look on the other side, there's 3 alts and a couple that are very close as well. And it just feels like all the momentum right now is in the corner of East Valley. It's going to need another crazy stop here on the side of Ephrata, and then they have to bounce back for 2 straight minutes. And here comes this Lucio alt as well. Things are only going to get more difficult. Reaper just kind of has to step to the side steps here. Lucio is in a bit of trouble, but MJ will fall. Maybe an opportunity for Ephrata, a way back in.
Wow, yeah, it definitely was. As soon as MJ doth fall, that Brig stun continues. I mean, ever since she came into the game, Hot Sauce, we know this. It's a fantastic ability. Obviously, one quickly start up your healing afterwards, as long as she, hits something dead in front of her face, right? Just Maven gonna fall in the things here. I think this is ultimately just equal out to a late almost stagger. Doesn't really matter when you have a Lucio who can get back so quickly.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Lucio and Winston, rather. I mean, they have a very mobile team, despite, just having that Bastion who can be that tank in that background. You look at MJ, and he's got an ult on deck as well. We know how well that Death Blossom can bloom into a multi-kill situation. So it is something that Ephrata is going to have to keep an eye on, trying to be weary of. They have this Brig here to be kind of an assistant tank as well, but it's all about working this. Kelto on the Reaper has that ult, so who's going to fire first? It is MJ, and there's the triple. They continue to stack bodies in the bag. Swag will find the 4th, and it looks like a team kill is on the horizon here, and with that, most likely going to continue to eat up a ton of time off the clock.
And this is such a perfect bait and switch, right? Swag puts low one of the characters on this other side, Monkey Dude or Kelto, I don't exactly remember. Everybody responds to it and gets together here, tries to put up the brig shield. I Am Cheese tries to tank a little bit of damage. No, it's just MJ there with the Death Blossom immediately. You're not gonna like what blooms.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's more trouble. And now we see Cheese, though, on the Maga, finding a 2-piece of their own. I mean, we've seen Ephrata make some phenomenal goal line stands, but that's what they've been from the goal line. And MJ to Kelto, Reaper on Reaper violence, dancing around this Maga, but he said, welcome to the Thunderdome. He locks him in. They're looking for the win. It's 3 on the board, and they will try to battle back, but it's with that overtime fuse lit. If they lose another battle, this first map is all but done and dusted.
Yeah, and another issue here is that once this overtime fuse does get lit, you step off for just a second. There's no time to really work with here, Hot Sauce, and it's about 100 meters back the other way. Now, this robot will move quickly while they're in uncharted territories here. Now, lots of ultimates dropping. Here comes the Lucio sound barrier, whipping back and forth as this Monkey's trying to find a juggle onto the corner. Almost got one early onto the Brig, Hot Sauce, but not really a whole lot there. A lot for Dorito. A double kill for a healer. I think they'll take it.
Yeah, and now it's just going to be cleanup time here as the janitors will come in, and with that, East Valley will take this first map here on Coliseum. A hard-fought battle between these two teams that we saw early back and forth before East Valley really kind of pressured toward the end. We saw Ephrata making a decent comeback, even this amazing play of the game here from Kelto, but at the end, it wasn't enough, and now we'll have to get ready for some hybrid.
Yeah, this Vendetta play was really, really good as well. Just cannot argue with it. With the switch came in, I mean, Kelta found a lot of value with the Sombra earlier, right? Just constantly harassing backlines, and that's really how this East Valley squad was able to find like an initial way inwards, right? Especially given that this is something they just constantly built back from, and I think it just goes to the the classic thing the commentators say here about this game mode about pushes. Whoever wins first team fight frequently will go forth, take down the overall game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Ephrata that had some of that early pressure, though. They had that first like 20 meters, and then it was kind of all downhill for them. But I like the fact that we saw them making a ton of swaps to the Orisa, to various different characters, Soldier over to Bastion. It shows that they are comfortable making those swaps. So at least they get to pick the map now in this mode. Bless you. Where I love hybrid. I love these payload style moments, and so for me. I know we're probably not going to see it. Circuit Royale's been a lot more popular, Gibraltar, Junkertown, those things. But I would love to see. I feel like it's been forever since we've seen Shambhali's Monastery. So I think that's kind of what I'm leaning for. But I'm happy because it's hybrid.
Yeah, especially given the Shambhala Monastery, you don't have like a whole lot of changes in like verticality, right? Like when you get a lot of these other hybrid maps, like obviously you get like King's Road, there's plenty of like ledges and other things like this, but part of Shambhala Monastery, you're literally going up like a solid like 35, 45 degree angle or something like this. Personally, I'm all here for it. See how this goes. We're picking Eichenwald. Okay, little Eichenwald action, little boop capabilities later on, a little bit fighting under the bridge in there earlier on before they actually unlock this point. I'm not against it whatsoever. Eichenwald is actually one of the first maps. It's the first map I remember playing Hot Sauce. It's the first map I remember playing within Overwatch, just mercy botting in like 2017 or 2018 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the outskirts of Stuttgart, Germany, and so
Nice.
the Black Forest here is basically where Eichenwald is located, right in the middle of. So we'll see if I personally love this map as well. This first checkpoint right here, I think, as we see the lovely camera work panning by, but that bridge that we just saw go by, a very, very crucial checkpoint or choke point even, excuse me, in this first map. There's a lot of different verticality in the second area as well. You've got the close quarter combat once you get in toward that castle, that final stage. So a little bit of everything. You got the town, the castle grounds, the interior. This is a really fun map. I love the Halloween version of this map. I know it's April Fool's, but
Yeah.
I love Halloween, so I just had to touch base on that.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember back when this map didn't have that little opening to the bottom left of your camera right now? Like, you just were able to go under the bridge, and that's or over the bridge, I suppose. There was no entryway to the bottom left. That'd be bottom right on camera right now. Like, there was no entryway right there to the right where the health pack is. It was a little rough. It was a little rough.
Is that Overwatch 1 days? I came late in Overwatch 1. I was more of an Overwatch 2 guy off rip, so,
Yeah, no. Like, when the map first came out, it was
okay.
Geographically pretty much the same, except for that.
Well, speaking of the map coming out, this squad right here, East Valley, they're going to come out of the gate swinging here with that Reinhardt. Swag Panda said it's hammer time, and they're looking to pressure forward, but they got to pump the brakes a little bit. We see a swap on the other side here. We've got that Junkrat just lobbing in the nades as well, and Slinky on Mizuki here as well. So a composition change may go a long way for him.
One down here and early. Noxum's finito. We'll see how this continues to go, because there's really not a whole lot of value that they're finding right here, and especially with medium range chip damage. I mean, you can sit behind a Reinhardt shield for only so long, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, it's tough. That's sometimes I think that the Reinhardts kind of feel like, hey, I'm a bullet sponge. I've got this shield. But you don't want to be that bullet sponge. You want to use some of the corners, the angles. We talked about making that job a little bit easier on your supports, allowing them to have more than just a healing role, to dish out some damage, and to be that good support role player. So I think sometimes you can get lured in by that false sense of security when you have that Reinhardt shield, but we've seen East Valley equally make those adjustments. They had a little bit of a tough start in that Coliseum. They quickly adjusted, kind of had a field day after that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar because Nullfall and the crew right now are putting in some work.
MJ enjoyed a lot of value onto the Reaper earlier, but this is defense, and defense. They're going to get this one all the way down. They are, yeah. So East Valley just not finding a whole lot of value on this initial pick. Good news for them. They still have about 2 minutes here, Hot Sauce. What's working, what isn't? Here comes the wholesale switches. That's what I was looking for. Mizuki, we're looking at May right here. I like it.
Yeah. Great changes. May, I think, is a lot of fun and can be very valuable in multiple different ways. Swag Panda now on to the Sigma, who has just been phenomenal this season in many different maps. We've seen a big return here in Sigma, and Jetpack says, you know what? I'm just going to take you off of the map. You're not even going to get a chance to play back to the spawn. And I mean, we talk about this all the time. Sometimes teams aren't as good on control or push, but maybe they like these payload styles a little bit more. It seems to be the case right now for Ephrata, but can they keep it up? Nullfall on this Junkrat has been annoying, to say the least, for this squad.
Just putting your rear into a corner and waiting for somebody to come by. Here comes the Rip Tire. Fast one down the middle. That is a solid strike. Dorito's going to know it. MJ felled as wells. Another player down. It's a full retreat for East Valley if they want to not stagger this one out.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing. You can't get overzealous here. You don't want to stagger. You've got plenty of time to work with. 1:15. This first choke point's very difficult. You just have to get past it and unlock that payload. So you've got time to work with. You don't want to continue to stagger forward. They've got this tank kind of eating up in the front line, and Kelto will slam down, finds Noxums, and again, it's just picking apart the back line now. You combine that with Junkrat just lobbing in the nades from a distance, and right now, for the first time, we're seeing East Valley doesn't really have a response for what Ephrata is doing this time.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, between everything that they're running, they have a lot of shields capable as well. Kelto here, obviously the tank. And once you have Nullfall, just chunking in nades, as long as they can hit one and Kelto has a little bit of room with which to work onto the Vendetta, and that's kind of just been a GG's thus far. Now in the backline, they got to pay attention to this Reaper. Is going to be able to get out, but the other source of damage for East Valley doth fall. There's Dorito down as well. This would be get out territory if it wasn't 15 seconds ago, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, Cheese on this Domina has been having a field day as well. We'll see a quick two-piece. Swag will fall. They don't even get a chance to let this ult sing out here from Sigma. And after a dominating performance on the Coliseum here, it's a bit of a tough time. They don't even unlock the payload, and this makes Ephrata's job a little bit easier from the attacking side. But just because they were able to hold him doesn't mean that they can push past him as well.
It's very true. It's very true. What the situation is now, folks, in case you're unfamiliar, is that Ephrata cannot lose this game. We will be seeing a map 3 or map 4 possibly, and we will be seeing a map 4 if Ephrata also fails to get at least 33.32% onto the first point. If they fail to do that, this map will be a tie, essentially a no contest. It'll be like we never played one. We'll move on to Escort after that. If this East Valley squad takes it down there, then it'll be a 2-0 series. If Ephrata does, then we'll move on to Clash to determine the rest of this best of 3. You got to think that with the obviously offense-defense just creates like categorically different scenarios of what you want to play, especially based on the geography, right? Specifically a Viking but you got to think that Ephrata enjoyed so much value from the heroes they were playing last game. How much do you want to switch this one up?
Yeah, I feel like not much, but I think they're aware of that, and I think they make great changes here. You got Null onto this Pharah, which realistically is similar to the Junkrat, but now you get to get up into the sky there as well and kind of lob those downwards. So plus the Sombra coming in, maybe getting into the back line, looking for some hacks, just being a nuisance. Swag over to the Domina as well. I mean, great defensively here. So I'm interested to see how these swaps pan out for both of these squads. We talked about it. For Ephrata, they just have to get one tick. Over the top they go, and they've got a plan. They want to get into the back line, start ticking on toward that payload, and then cut this defense in half. Some are turning around. Some are fighting in front of them. Null has already found a pick, and this does spell disaster here for East Valley. They are just millimeters away from getting that third tick, or first tick.
Maven was actually doing a fantastic job, Hot Sauce, of keeping the dream alive right here, but 4-on-1 Sigma by themselves, not gonna happen. Or excuse me, Domino. Yeah, that was a rather quick one. Gotta call it like we see it. It was a wise decision for East Valley to just, for Ephrata to just take this one up and over the initial blockade, right? Especially with the Jetpack Cat, that makes it a lot easier. Oh, that was such a fanciful kill.
Yeah. I mean, you have not only the Jetpack Cat, but the Pharah going straight over the top, and then all of a sudden the defense has to figure out, are we taking this fight at the bridge? Are we turning around and going to the point? Well, they have to go to the point. They don't really have many options because Well, they didn't get very far on that attacking side. So almost a night and day there from push bot to hybrid. We head to escort, which is a lot similar to hybrid. At least you don't have to unlock the payload though. So I mean that's a step that East Valley won't have to worry about. They can just start pushing right away. Third maps here, I feel like have been rare. Fourth maps, basically a unicorn at this point. So I wasn't sure if we were going to see that tie, and I don't think Ephrata was either. So into this third map pool that we go. You know, we talk about. Is there? I guess maybe I should ask you because I started last time. Is there a map that maybe you would like to see here as far as escort goes?
I feel like this wouldn't be a genuine question because as you were saying that, I saw in the chat right here, we're going to see Gibraltar next.
Oh.
I do like Gibraltar a whole lot, though. This is a tried and true. It is, I mean, another escort, or excuse me, another hybrid that I like is Numbani, but I realize that's not as played as much. Route 66, another escort that I absolutely love. It's just like a real classic. Don't get me wrong, I do like a whole lot of the new maps as well, but some of these other ones just they conjure fond memories of being younger and playing this game with friends and stuff like that, right? So you'll never be, you know, nostalgia is the greatest. It is a great what's the word? Benefactor of memory or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you know, as we take a look at the map too, and I realize we're on Gibraltar, I realized earlier I was talking about Shambali Monastery, but that is also an escort map, not a hybrid. So I made a goof a little bit ago earlier. On to this one though, I like Gibraltar. You're right. This is about as original as it gets. It's been a staple of Overwatch for a long time. There's great verticality on this map. We see that, you know, Winston can do really well here, and we saw the Winston from Swag earlier, Diva as well. You're able to get up to that high ground, knock them off of that positioning as well. So it doesn't surprise me we see Swag Panda back on this Winston.
Yeah, especially given this is going to be a situation where East Valley, I would like to think, is not going to have the same issues they had last time, given that, I mean, payload is spitting distance outside of, where they spawn in at, right? The issue before was getting past that first checkpoint, or that first choke point, excuse me, on Eichenwald, and that's really what resulted in a rather fast offense here for Ephrata. Now, I know they'd love to hold this all the way through and do the same kind of situation where they just have to, get somewhere quick and then push a little bit of distance and then take the W down, Ephrata, that is. But I think East Valley is going to have a little bit more value on this, especially once they figure out how to work in this Winston.
I mean, we're looking at two teams that may not have even dropped a map up until this point today. And the two teams that are undefeated, only one is going to come away with an unscathed record after today. So a lot on the line here, resting in what could be this third and final map. Ephrata and East Valley again already having a slugfest right out of the gate. MJ able to find the first onto Kelto, though. And a lot of times we see that domino effect, especially, at least it's a DPS. They don't lose a support or a tank early, but that walk back for defense is a much further walk back from the spawn.
Oh, it is. I want to give a shout out to Just Maven. The way in which they're pushing and pulling, right? They're ebbing and flowing. They're hitting heals onto the Winston as soon as they need it, and then when they realize even if they're a little bit closer that it doesn't matter, right? They can heal through this. I need to put on damage right now so they can finish out these Ks. An even better job of healing on the other side. Well, Mizuki will no longer be there. Kelto falls as well. It's just going to be the Jetpack Cat on Monkey Dude, keeping the dream alive, and this looks like it's something they're going to be go ahead and giving up. If this is a Sigma pick, that's not going to be a great situation. Yeah, there you go. They're going to be out away from this one. Nullfall will fall in the thick of things, though.
Yeah, and that's the trouble is they have that risk of continuously staggering here. We see Slinky the next to fall, and with that, it's only a matter of time. You really have to kind of fall back and reset with each other. You need to regroup so that you don't continuously stagger in, and we're seeing that right now. I mean, Cheese is going to fall, Kelto as well. They're without that tank. Supports have already respawned and pressured forward, and now Null is going to fall yet again, and so with that, East Valley getting a little bit of extra space, maybe that they wouldn't normally here. We need to see Ephrata regroup as a whole.
There you go, Just Maven. That one there, that's for us support mains. Tell them what time it is. I loved it. Like they ran out of the concussive mines, right? And so it was just trying to lob them up into a Mercy that's like flying in front of you. Been there before on both sides of that situation. Up close and personal, that's where Swag Panda wants it. But throughout the thick of things, MJ does fall, doing a great job of kind of badgering in the back, but that has a lot of attention now. Here comes a big one, Nullfall, not going to be the first to die in this team fight. Monkey Dude keeps it up as well as Dorito does well, down. This is a 2v5 for right now.
And I think Nullfall going back to this Junkrat was a phenomenal decision, and we see why. I mean, that Riptire can steal the play of the game away from almost anybody. It's such a deadly ultimate. It claims to here, and I think it gives Ephrata a little bit of that breathing room that we talked about. They're able to gather themselves a bit here, try to deal with this Winston again, who they struggled with a little bit in Coliseum, and now they fall early despite Mercy attached to the hip. It doesn't matter. Kelto finds a nasty triple. MJ will get a consolation prize, but at this point, that's probably all it is. They're the only player left standing here for East Valley.
MJ just jumped over the shot of the previous player. Shout out to that, and shout out to finding the trade on the very, very end. You can't let Kelto over here onto this, what is that, Vendetta? Am I losing it? Yeah, Vendetta, excuse me. Come in, take down 3 of yours, and then get away, excuse me. Here comes the TAC Visor. There's a lot of ultimates going down right here in the middle, including this Juno ultimate, which might prove to keep teams alive. Kelto falls with ultimate as well. As death from above comes Slinky Cheese, which is an entirely different name.
Well, they both went down, they're combined. Yeah. Both Slinky and Cheese went down. That artillery certainly had something to do around it, so maybe it's just raining down some Slinky Cheese bodies at the moment. Swag Panda comes to collect. He'll pick up 2 more, and this is what we saw from East Valley in that opening game as well. They get to this final checkpoint here. 1 more to go. They've got 4 minutes to work with. They have to be happy up to this point, but much like in some of those other situations, this final destination is tough. And these spawns get exponentially closer for the defense. What a 2K here from Kelto. It just doesn't stop.
No, it does not. Simple geometry. Hey, that's Hamzo's line, lining him up and knocking him down. Maybe there's some bowling going on here for this Vendetta player. Fantastically done, and stop that push dead in its tracks.
We'll see if they're able to regain. We talked about it, 3:20 on the clock here, and this Winston has been a nuisance, but they're starting to find ways to deal with it. Domina trying to get up in the front line here and battle with this Winston, trying to occupy his time, but they need this other DPS to help him out. Jetpack Cat loves this, and that has to be annoying on the other side. Drags you off the side of the map. The Riptire claims a friend. Support goes down, and East Valley is going to have to regroup.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. This is a situation, and I feel like they've been in not very much in this game thus far. Just a little bit of flack that they caught just the very, very beginning of this one. Trying to hit some heads right here. It does get a little bit of AoE damage, a little bit of area effect damage right there, and just constantly dealing with this Winston in yo face. Mizuki, they are going to have this ultimate. They have the tank ultimate up as well if they so choose. DPS will join them in a little bit.
Oof. That's tough. Kelto finding Noxums early. You have to do it without a DPS for the time being. You've got the tactical visor. Mercy almost there as well. We will see that tactical visor come out, but Cheese has already found Mercy, so no ult for them as well. Tactical visor doesn't get as much value as they were hoping for. In East Valley, that's a tough one. At least they've got a few more ults coming up very quickly here. That's a tough position to be in. Monkey on the Jetpack Cat has been phenomenal.
Really have. Nullfall continuing to fish and find value. Res will come, just Maven knows. I mean, it's about as long a timer as you find here. Nothing, no value here from the Bastion ultimate. Couple of shots down the middle and 2 teams just kind of posturing with each other. Hot sauce.
Yeah, it looked like Bastion maybe died at the end or during that all. I saw it looked like Maven was able to get that res and get him back onto the battlefield here. Cheese just continuing to duke it out with this Winston, and we haven't seen any swaps come in here late. It seems like what was working for East Valley earlier in these first 2 checkpoints has kind of been slowing down here, and so maybe some swaps are in order. They've got to figure out a way to deal with Monkey Dude, and now we're starting to see some kills on that red side. Cheese will immediately bounce back, and I don't know, this Ephrata squad has really turned it up to 11.
I have to agree with you. Switches coming out from East Valley. I mean, the Lifeweaver and the Cassidy, these are things that can take a little while to develop any kind of benefit from. I mean, the High Noon, we haven't really seen any kind of like crazy 2K, 3K, even 4K quite yet. It's mostly just been used for that spacing. Domino Switch, now this might be what the doctor ordered here for East Valley. See how this influences their offense.
Yeah, I love when it's kind of like that mirror match as well. We see two of these dominos going head-to-head. MJ fought on the first. Slinky able to bounce back. The support does find that EPS. Noxum is there to find Kelto as well. And it is the trades, the plaid stripes and the kill feed once more. Dorito bouncing around, trying to find the heals and the damage. It can be tough to do, but right now, navigating it nicely here as East Valley is trying to hold on a little while. 15 seconds or overtime.
Yeah, something tells me this is going to OT. Lifeweaver trying to take this demise into their own hands, get out some damage there and early. Mizuki looking for a pull, not going to find it. Jetpack Cat, you know that they're a little bit farther away from this one, even if they might have gotten the pull over here. Jetpack Cat versus Cassidy. Jetpack Cat wins. I have seen it all, Hot Sauce.
It's the cat, the power of the cat, baby. And I mean, it's been a fan favorite since it came out. We get to see it. And honestly, Monkey Dude is just using it to a T. We've seen the pulls off the side of the map. We've seen the movement, or the schmovement, if you will. Now he's throwing fists. He finds the fisticuffs on Just Maven. Just a really great job here by the squad. For East Valley, they push it really, really far. They stall out near the end, but they've given themselves a strong chance. It's not like that last one where we saw they just had to barely touch the payload. So they've given themselves a really good opportunity here, and this is still a winnable match for them.
I have to agree with you. 2 points, about 15 meters past that, means that you can even give up 2 points and then really, really hold right there. And what you were saying earlier, Hot Sauce, about the defense being super, super far away, at that point, seems like it might be a little bit of an easier hold. I think success, obviously success, like ultimately winning and losing the game, right? Hot Sauce is determined about it. Just simply, do you have further distance than opponents, right? But a lot of times, I think success can be measured by actually getting to that second point. Like putting 2 points up on the board here, that's generally going to net you down a victory. A little bit of space past that, a little bit of room to work with here for the defense. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I feel like on that defensive side, we normally we see him get past that first L and up that ramp usually, though. So I feel like if Ephrata can find a way to make it to that second checkpoint, then they can certainly get past that. But if you know, by some forced, East Valley can at least prevent them to getting to that second checkpoint, that's where we're going to see that big stop come in. But yeah, there's just not very far to go once you reach that third one. I think it's a dangerous spot to be in. We see Sigma coming out, which is great, but doesn't have the mobility of some of these other tanks. So going to have to be careful about navigating around this high ground.
High ground. So both of these teams are going to be hanging out at as of right now. Sticking on to the Reaper for both sides. Not against it, gotta say. Not against it at all. Pumping out damage, the Sojourn is. Nullfall has been playing the kind of projectile character pretty much all the way throughout this one. Rez does come in and get attempted. Is not going to land, so no Axims isn't going to be able to come back to this one until they start walking back. Nope, finally gets to it. Swag, Panda falling through the thick of things, and Kelto falling to a little bit of Reaper on Reaper action. I'm going to say advantage right here will be Ephrata. They have their tank up, and Kelto can just dog walk back to this one in just a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, they've got that closer spawn, which I think is really great for them. I like the fact that we don't see East Valley getting too far forward here, though. They know that they're kind of playing at a disadvantage without that Sigma. They do a great job of allowing Sigma to get back here in time. MJ almost caught in trouble. Uses the fade to get away, but now's an opportunity to punish this Reaper. He doesn't have it anymore. Maven again, another big res back on toward Nox. And Mercy, at course, seems like an easy character to play. It is not. Single target heals. They find the res. They're dancing in and out, and now Swag has found Cheese with a rock. The tank goes down for Ephrata, and all of a sudden they've stalled out of it.
Battle Mercy here on Watch Point Gibraltar. Ooh. I absolutely love it. It was the Jetpack Cat earlier, right? Jetpack Cat on Cassidy, who truly, truly would have guessed it. And shout out to our production observing crew. There's Connie, there's Taylor, there's Jaden here on the day for getting us some awesome shots. What does this offense need to do? Sorry, what'd you say?
No, I was just saying, yeah, like big shout out to them as well. But as far as this offense, I think they're doing great, honestly. I mean, I think it took East Valley a little bit longer to get going here. This first initial push has been great. I think they just regrouped. They haven't stalled out a second time yet. They're about to get some ults on board as well. And there's Null this time on the Sojourn. That railgun is a deadly one, peppering in shots from above. It's a hailstorm of bullets and destruction. And Ephrata says, yeah, we don't have to change much up. We just need a second chance until that ult from Reaper finds two. Swag another cheese to battle back. One standing on both sides, and East Valley will clutch it.
To be fair, almost certainly would have won this anyway, given that the healer showed up pretty much immediately afterwards, right? I want to give a shout out to Nullfall on the play, though. Finding the Bastion first, but it wasn't like the find a pick, ooh, I need to find a second immediately. Kept sightlines down because they know exactly what we've been talking about, Hot Sauce, and that is that Just Maven has been Johnny on the spot for finding these reses immediately, and you can find this Bastion all day long. Doesn't matter if that res is on cooldown. Or if the res is not on cooldown, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a great job of keeping them in battle. And so we talk about that target acquisition. It's something that Ephrata is going to have to realize and try to recognize and maybe deal with here, as MJ has also been another thorn in their side now on this Reaper. The melody comes out from Swag. It doesn't find any kills, a bit of damage and distraction, but Kelto's already found Dorito. Juno falls here, and now MJ as well. The domino effect in full effect as Ephrata should be able to add some extra time here.
Monkey Dude answering the question, who can kill supports? Supports. That's it. Fantastic job here from Ephrata. Finding that, I mean, dude, we're literally at like I'm going to start keeping track. I got a tally right here. Just on this map alone, we've seen 4 different DPS out-duel, or excuse me, 4 different supports out-duel a DPS. Okay, Monkey Dude, I think you bit off a little more than you can chew in there.
Yeah, 1v1 something. A 1v3 might just be pushing it.
Inside
but hey,
against the Reaper. Like,
yeah. I love the admiration, though. You know, he's feeling confident. That's being exuberated onto the battlefield right now. Unfortunately, there's 3 ults on the side of East Valley. Unfortunately for Ephrata, anyway. And that Death Blossom has been so deadly here today. They've got the artillery form as well. Jetpack Cat is going to try to make something happen, but it is MJ on that Death Blossom. Only good for 1 this time, though. It's a quick stop, but back the other way we go yet again. Dorito and Maven with that big res.
Bro, Swag's out here at an absolute buffet, eating everything. I am cheese tossed ults on in there. You get nada, nothing. Swag Panda, almost, you know, if there's one thing that both of these teams have done, though, on either side, that's just a tiny, tiny little bit too much aggression. Swag knew that they got that eat and almost just staggered out as a solo tank in 5v5. That would not have been ideal. That would have been basically taking their team fight and tossing it to a situation where they get there anyway 10, 20 seconds later.
Well, Nox is going to go straight in here as well. Fine on the first. We see Null able to answer back. Juno the next to go down. It has been a supportive piece here in Swag. Does have that ult online again. Another big res here from Just Maven. And they continuously finding these reses. Ephrata has to find a way to start targeting this Mercy.
Sojourn looking for it on the side. Now they know that that's been supported by the Mercy there, so not going to find a lot. Nullfall hits the deck just to get a face full of rock. Not gonna feel great. Maven picks now. This might have been a little bit early for this one, but hey, supporting a Reaper, they take that much damage. Not going to be against it. Here it comes. Railgun comes out. A lot of damage there. Pushed off of High Point by the Reaper. Up and down they go. Will the song be sung? It does, but Kelto and Monkey Dude do fall. Swag Panda setting all of this up. And here comes the Bastion for a little bit of cleanup. I am Cheese, last alive there. Even if they had tossed that Domina Ultimate, there's still 15 seconds left, actually, and we have res available.
I don't know.
For East Valley. 6 seconds. I actually would have pushed this like by another 2 seconds or so and tried to get a little bit more out of this, a little bit more cohesion with the squad. Yeah. So after that, it's really just going to result in a situation of more of like a slow burn instead of an actual full 5-on-5 team fight. And really probably wouldn't have mattered given they had this Garden, this Death Blossom at the very, very end to look forward to. Regardless, this East Valley squad going to be able to take this one down in 2-1 fashion. Hot Sauce, both of these teams were undefeated coming on into this one. It's got to just feel right for this to have ended in a 2-1.
Oh man, this is probably my favorite Overwatch game I've got to cast this season. It's certainly the closest by far. We see this play of the game here. I don't want to take anything away from that. MJ on that Death Blossom, followed up by the rock from Swag. But yeah, this has got to be one of my favorite ones thus far this season. I mean, it's 2 undefeated teams. East Valley still has a makeup game, so they'll go to 4-0, whereas Ephrata falls to 4-1. But I mean, it was back and forth, and I felt like East Valley had to make that stop before the second checkpoint because they got almost nowhere after that. You felt like if Ephrata could get there, then they got the win. They did exactly what they needed to do. They made the adjustments along the way, and again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe these two teams back in that championship matchup for another really close nail biter.
Yeah, at least semis, right? Everybody within the WSSEA makes it in. The way we do it here is that the regular season performance determines your seeding in the postseason. Now, what that means to all those viewers, that everybody gets to participate in the postseason. What that means for all of us, all the players here, because they know what, an 8th seed or even a 16th seed coming into the first round playing against a 1 seed, we all know generally how that's going to end. So really, really wanting to get at least out of 8, you want to get at least 5th seed or something like that. Get yourself a situation where you're playing the 4th seed on the other side, at that point, right? 6 obviously playing against the 3rd. That was a fantastic match. I really, really got to give it up. There were times that either team was doing something poorly. They either corrected it and stopped an aspect of doing that, or they just switched and realized that, hey, this card is broken. There's another perfectly good card over here. Why don't we use this one and find value from that one? The constant switches, and then also the opposite of that, sticking on what just simply was working. I really felt like that was the healing core for both of these squads, and then consistently was sometimes the tank play. The tank play was obviously changed up a whole lot, but a lot of it was DPS play, specifically null fall on one of these sides. I mean, all of the value in the world onto the projectile characters. I think the Cassidy might have been a good attempt, but maybe maintained on for a little bit too long, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easier said than done when we're up here in the booth. It's tough because, they've got the comms and stuff. But, I think I just respect the fact that they were making those changes and trying to find something that was going to push them over the edge. I mean, at a bare minimum, like I said, this is a ton of fun to get to watch and cast. It was an absolute amazing game. And you know what else is amazing? LANFest, because this broadcast here is part of LANFest's Scholastic Esports program. It's a program that supports this league and many others. And since launching, LANFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in both Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, the schools, the teams we cover, and it's all of your generous donations that make all of that possible. So for every $200 we raise, it covers the operating cost for one regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate our work and you're able to help out, please scan that QR code on screen there and donate today.
LANFest, fantastic organization. I've had the pleasure of working with them for years now, as I know you have as well, both online and in person as well. Plenty of amazing stuff from LANFest coming up this semester as well. Stay tuned to socials and stuff like that as far as announcements for cool esports events that are coming up. They work with schools, they work with teams, they do a whole lot within esports. Specifically here on the day, again, that is Connie, that is Taylor, that is Jade. I want to give them a huge shout out for helping to bring this broadcast to all of you. I always say Hot Sauce and I are just two great looking guys with fantastic mustaches screaming about esports in our rooms without our production staff bringing this broadcast to all of you. So again, want to give a shout out Connie Taylor and Jaden. Shout out Zotac, shout out LANFest, shout out to these two teams, East Valley and Ephrata, and the coaching staff that goes on within, and a very, very well matched and even-handed matchup between these two that saw both teams taking at least one round win, at least one round loss. That is going to be about it here on the day for April Fools. We didn't do an April Fools joke, Hot Sauce. I can't believe it. April Fools, we have 7 more matches after this. Haha, stay tuned. I don't know. Now, next esports stuff is Super Smash Brothers. We're going to be looking at that tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. What do I mean by that? That's just an old person way of saying on the same channel and at the same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, not Eastern Standard. Hot Sauce, do you have anything else for the good people before I do bid them adieu and implore them to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m.?
No, just a big thank you again, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, that handsome man to my digital right, Tugboat. I'm Hot Sauce. You guys have been beautiful. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.